Hi folks, this is Rob. I am the KCC, the Kilted Celtic Craftsman of Stone Circle Creations. Try saying that 5 times fast. That's not easy. Today, I am going to try a little bit of an experiment with resin casting using Envirotex Light resin. It's a 1-to-1 ratio resin. And a couple of bowls, because one of the things that I have found out over the couple of years that I've been practicing my resin casting and my resin turning is there's a lot of waste, and I don't like how much that costs. That is entirely too much money. You figure a gallon of this wonderful, wonderful resin is about $100 over at Michael's. That's not cheap. And I know a lot of you that are getting into resin casting don't have the budget to do a lot of work like this. So I'm trying to find little workarounds, little mistakes that I've made earlier that might help you. And you'll see some of the things that I use in this that you won't have available to you. One of them being this, if you are a truck driver or in the medical industry, you know exactly what this is. We in the trucking industry lovingly refer to this as the Whiz Quiz. This is a urinalysis cup. I have a friend of mine that does these, and after a while they expire. But the nice thing about them is they're perfectly clean on the inside and outside, and they have little measurements on the side. It makes my life a lot easier when it comes to measuring out my resins. I don't have to use a scale because it is a 1-to-1 ratio, and it's a 1-to-1, oh my goodness, what is the word? 1-to-1 volume ratio, not a 1-to-1 weight ratio. So what we are going to do is we're going to do a little bit of casting. We're going to use these 2 bowls, and for turning, I did a resin cast earlier today and I had some left over, and I didn't do what I usually do, which is pouring it off in a pour-off mold for little projects on the side. I walked out of my shop garage, and it was 120 degrees out here. Needless to say, when I came back out, because I went, oops, I forgot to pour, it was dry. But the neat thing is that little piece of resin right there is about the same shape and size as my Nova woodchuck from my lathe. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and hot glue some tin foil to this. Well, you'll see what I do as I go along. I'm not going to leave any steps out if I can help it in editing. Guys, this is still my first couple of videos. I'm still getting used to talking to a camera, so if I have a tendency to ramble on, slur my words, stumble, get tripped up on my own tongue, please forgive me. That is perfectly normal for me. I will try to do better as this website and this YouTube page go on. Thanks for visiting, and let's get into some serious resin casting. Wait a minute. This is me we're talking about. There's no serious about it. Let's just have some fun. Thanks. 7 minutes. Okay, so here's what I did. I formed the tin foil around the puck, and I had to make sure that it was tight around the puck itself because I wanted to have as round an object for my Nova chuck for my lathe to fit into. I didn't want it warped, and I didn't want it looking funky because I'm going to have to sand it out afterwards. So I've got that puck set. It is actually hot glued into place to the bottom of the bowl. Now comes the next step. I've got to get a couple of pieces of wood just kind of hot glued to the side for the bowl to set on. So let's see what I can come up with. I'm gonna have to raise that up 3 sticks. Wow, there's a neat measurement. 3 whole sticks. So we'll run a little bead of glue. Run another bead of glue. Doesn't have to be perfect. And we'll stick a stick. And we'll stick a stick. And we'll try not to glue it to the table because that would just be silly. There's enough glue there, oozing out. Now we have 3 sticks. Now, is that too high? No, that actually leaves a nice gap. Okay. I'm going to do 3 more sticks, and the reason I do 3 sticks instead of just 1 stick standing up, it's a little more of a supportive base. Get that out of the way so you can actually see what I'm doing. And we'll bead of glue, bead of glue. And we'll stick it into place. There we go. Just let that set for a moment as I stick my finger in the glue that I did not see fall onto the table. It's called hot glue for a reason. Ow. Okay, got that one set, kind of. Still a little tacky. No, that's good. We'll do a one on the inside just to make sure it's secure. Well, that's embarrassing. Nothing like having your stick fall off. There we go. Now, a little more hot glue so it stays where it's supposed to. And this will be about the time where I start running out of hot glue. 1. And I'm almost out of that hot glue stick. Okay, so this is my part A. when you're casting resin and you start to mix it and it doesn't turn cloudy, chances are you probably did something wrong. Go back over the steps and try again. Get all of this in with the spatula, and then we'll start the mix. And I have to be kind of quick about this. I'm gonna have to get my dyes out because this is an extremely warm resin. And I'll have to get my casting pot set up too, so let's get the mix go. You see how it turns cloudy there. And you'll know you've got your resin properly mixed when the cloudiness goes away. And that's why we wear gloves, ladies and gentlemen. Because sometimes a fool like me will overfill it and spill it. Still seem to have a little bit of separation in here. Get that mixed up. Rob, what are you going to do for color? Are you just going to make a clear cast? No, I am not going to make a clear cast. I am actually going to add, pardon me, some dyes into this, but not until that, you know, this thing has a, I didn't really think this through, did I? All right, we're going to do a slow pour right in on the edge and see if we can start bringing the level up. I made a mess. All right, we're getting up to the bottom of that bowl. Filled the bubble. Wow. I definitely undershot on my resin. I could use some more. I could also use a clean towel. Okay, I'm running the second pour. Did not have a chance to hit record. I was too busy cleaning up the mess that I made. Those are mistakes that happen. Sometimes all you can do when you make a mess like that is just let it dry and scrape it off later. Sometimes that's the best option for you because it beats the heck out of trying to get it out of your hands, out of shop towels, things like that. And we're going to go ahead and just drop in the second pour. I think we're going to throw a little bit of magic purple into it. And this technique is called the dip technique. It's where you just kind of drop some resin in on the surface. Or sorry, you drop some dye in on the surface, not resin. And then you dip it in and swirl it a little bit. And let's go with some ocean blue. Or a type of blue anyhow. And when your hands shake, you make even more of a mess. Now, we just kind of dip and swirl the dye. Into the pot it goes. I need to find my, there it is. I've got a mark on this somewhere. Get the resin off it because I don't want to resin my lid into place. That would be bad. That would be embarrassing. And luckily, so as not to wake the neighbors, I prepped my tank earlier with air pressure. Hook up the air line, close the tank. That's why. All right, now we're gonna bring the PSI up. And I don't know how well you can read it. This tank, it's a central pneumatic. I got it from Harbor Freight. It's only rated up to 60 PSI. I don't even get close. I take it up to 40 PSI. That's all I really need. Maybe 45. That is enough. So I'm actually all right, got it up to about 45 PSI and bring it down to the floor very gently. And I'm going to clean up this mess that I left. We're going to call it a night. We're going to go ahead and crack that sucker open tomorrow morning and see how it looks. The nice thing about doing resin casting with a pressure vessel is, on average, most of your resins take anywhere from 24 to 72 hours to cure. Now, when you put it in a pressure vessel and bring it up between 40 to 50 PSI, the intense pressure causes it to cure faster. It also shrinks the bubbles inside the resin down to microscopic size. I don't know what that tink was, but if it's the can, I don't want to be near it. Mind you, it could have been a bug flying off. It's springtime out here in Arizona, folks. That's why you see bugs crawling all over my workspace while I'm trying to film. They're attracted by the light. Go figure. Anyhow, my pressure tank is a simple 2.5 gallon tank that I got from Harbor Freight, Central Pneumatic. It's only rated up to 60 PSI, which is why I don't take it much higher than 40, 45. I don't want to be anywhere close to the maximum pressure. I mean, come on, it's a steel tank. You don't want to hit the failure limit. That would be catastrophic, to say the least. But the thing I want to point out is that pressure tank only cost me about $100 over at Harbor Freight. And the equivalent from, I think it's CA Systems or CE System, costs about $300 more. Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing things within a budget 9 times out of 10. Sometimes we have to go to the cheapest route. I disagree with a bladesmith I watched online one time. His name was Jason David, who said, if you're passionate about your craft, you should sell what you don't need to further that craft. And I could not disagree with him more. You have to work within budgets. You have to start somewhere. And don't be afraid to start at ground zero. Don't be afraid of doing your resin castings with just a hot gun to take the bubbles out of it. Don't be afraid to shop on places like OfferUp. I got a good lathe on OfferUp. Unfortunately, I destroyed it because I overestimated the balance on a log that I was turning at the time. I got a Shopsmith. That's a $5,000 lathe with all the parts. I got it for $80 because it was just the motor and the lathe. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to go expensive. You have to go within your budget, and I understand that. That's part of what I'm doing on this channel, is trying to show you that things can be done within budget. Not necessarily cheaply, but within budget. I've got a little 3-gallon air compressor from Harbor Freight. Their little red canister one. Their oilless air compressor. When it was on sale, it cost me, when it was on sale, it cost me $40, $50 after tax. Now, I had a little bit of a windfall recently. I was able to upgrade to the larger 135 PSI tank, 25-gallon tank. That is an amazing upgrade because I can do multiple tanks at once. Now I have to buy more pressure pots so I can do multiple pours. The thing is if you save up your money and you take the time, you can get what you need. But there is no shame and nothing wrong with starting off small. We're going to take a look at this tomorrow. Before I finish off, like I said, I want to shout out to Nick Zammeti, say thank you very much for the inspiration that you've given on your YouTube channel. I also want to thank Jake Thompson again for showing the world how to do this on a budget. He showed how to put that central pneumatic together for under $150. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're building an air pressure tank, that's not bad. That is less than half of what it costs to get the CA or CE systems tank. And if you're on a budget, that's what you need. So big shout out to Jake Thompson for showing us the safest steps on how to put that pressure tank together from a paint sprayer. And thank you again to Nick Zammeti for showing us some of the beautiful things you can do with resin. I will catch you at the end of this video with the resin coming out of the mold. We'll decant that tomorrow morning. For right now, it is 90 in the desert. It's 86 in my garage. Folks, I'm sweating them off out here. You have a wonderful night. Be kind to each other. Be safe. This is your Celtic. This is your Celtic Craftsman signing off. I forgot my kilt. Have a good night. The heat's getting to me.